Hey everybody, Logan here. Yes, if you're wondering, I'm still under the weather. It's actually gotten worse. I'm on day 6. Got my halls, got my OJ here, but I still needed to make sure I get some content out for you and not just leave you high and dry, especially when over the last few days I've been seeing some stuff because well, of course, the gaming world doesn't stop. Now, I do have some products, some accessories and controllers that I want to get reviewed for you, but I have not been to the PO box to pick up a number of them. So today, I figured I wanted to address this because people are talking about it. There are people that hate Xbox that say Sony won. There are people that saying they hate Sony, Xbox won, and they're just ignoring Nintendo. And then the PC people think that they've won everything and they're the best there ever is. But we know that's not true because they're off in their own little world. They always, from the dawn of gaming, they've always thought they were better, and yet not really, especially when you're watching a console gaming channel. Yes, I do cover PC controllers because they're sent to me. Yes. But you guys know I'm a console gamer, first and foremost, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. So, with that being said, the console wars of something that's been around for as long as I've been gaming. Some people say they've you can trace back to the Atari Nintendo. Some people can say Atari ColecoVision, television, ColecoVision, a Commodore. But I would say it really started the console wars really started between Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. That's I think where it really kicked into turbo. I guess you can say it just went into high gear then. And then ever since then, once Sega dropped out, then it was Nintendo and Sony. Then Microsoft decided to throw their hat in the game, and then Nintendo just always went and did their own thing and just started to ignore everybody else. And it looks like that was the winning solution. But Sony and Microsoft have been at each other's throats for decades. Were either of them ever going to win? Probably not. But now it looks like it's confusing some people. Are the console wars actually over? Spoiler, no. But what I will tell you is things are definitely changing in the landscape. Let me pull up this article. I think this one might be a little interesting to discuss. And then we're going to go over what might happen in the future and why some fanboys are really going to be upset. But here, let me show you this. Here, this comes from Pure Xbox. And here, let's go over it quickly. We're not going to read the whole article. The title says Xbox and PlayStation's new social media ads make fans question whether console war is over. It's a little misleading because depending on how you read it, you might think, wait, it is over. Oh, no, wait, is it over? Are they trying to say, is this the end of the console wars? And so here it says, last week, blah, blah, blah. As Gears Reloaded launched on PS5 and Helldivers arrived on Xbox Series XS, and another step from the two companies' social media teams in making folks question whether console wars are truly over. Okay, let me put this out. Microsoft has gone the way of Sega. We know that. They're not a hardware manufacturer, first and foremost, with exclusive games. They are not. They have completely abandoned that model. They are not in that race anymore. We know that. It is done. It is over. They've given up. They've waved the white flag. There's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what Sega did, and Sega's been significantly more profitable in the decades since for doing that. So Microsoft is now going that way. Now it also looks like that it might be Asus making their Xbox branded hardware going forward, and I think that's fine if that saves them money. But then the Xbox will not be the Xbox as we know it. But I've talked about that ad nauseum before. So let's continue. So it says right here, Xbox has a Helldivers banner and PlayStation has a Gears banner. Yeah, well, Xbox is putting on all their older games to test the waters on PlayStation to kind of recoup a lot of the money that they've lost with the acquisition of Bethesda and Activision because they've lost a ton of money. They've also canned I don't know how many games such as Perfect Dark, Fable, uh, Forza Motorsport was a flop. So they brought over Horizon, they brought over Gears, they brought over Sea of Thieves. They need to make that money back. Smart move. It's a great business decision. Yes, and they've realized, all right, the Xbox has just not done what they've wanted to in the last two generations. So what do we do? Okay. What Sony's doing is they realized Helldivers would probably make significantly more money by putting it multi-platform, considering how well it did on PC compared to PlayStation. And Xbox has been known to be the biggest platform for shooters, third or first, mainly first person shooters. It's always kind of been that way. So they went, hey, can we make some more money with a game that's kind of fallen off, especially with the controversy that went around? But that's all, poof, it's gone, right? So bring that over has really sparked sales for a lot of them. Now, a lot of Xbox fanboys are saying Sony's dead. They've called it quits. No, they haven't. There's a lot of other games that, especially like Lost Soul aside, that they just released exclusively on PlayStation and PC. So a lot of games, yes, are still coming to PC because, well, PC players don't play on console. So a lot of publishers want to get their game out to the largest amount of people. And when they do, it's usually PlayStation and PC, especially if you're an Asian company, because Asian companies tend not to support Xbox. So that's kind of how it looks like it's going right now. So what people are saying, all right, console wars are over. Console wars are definitely over between Xbox and PlayStation, yes. And here, let's go to Reddit. Take it what you will. Reddit's a cesspool. It's probably worse than X. So, uh, gentleman here says, I own all current gen consoles and I love seeing the walls start to break down between their libraries. And you're one of the reasons why people who have bought all the consoles are now regretting it. People who own all the consoles are like, now I just pick one. And that's another thing. See, you're going to see that going through most of these people who own all of them either love it or they hate it. So that's one thing I want to get to. People that own all now bought them because there was exclusives on each. So with the next generation, what are you going to buy? You're not going to need to buy an Xbox. No chance of exclusives ever. PlayStation, a lot of Asian companies still put their games exclusively on Asian platforms, specifically Nintendo, Sony, and then PC as well. So Microsoft has almost shoehorned themselves out of console sales completely. And I think that's why we're seeing Asus kind of take over. Asus has recently announced that they are doing a new controller, which looks like it might be a replacement for the Elite Series 3. It doesn't have a screen, but has everything you could want. It's almost rivaling the Razer V3 Pro. How about that? And the Xbox handheld was completely scrapped, canceled, because now Microsoft is putting all their backing behind the Asus ROG Xbox, Ally X, whatever they're calling it. But it still doesn't play Xbox games. So it only plays PC Game Pass and PC. It's a weird device, which I don't understand why it's needed when we have the Ally and Ally X, which are the same thing without the hand grips. And apparently the old Ally systems are getting the new updated interface. So I'm not sure. And nobody I know who works for Microsoft can answer that question for me. I'm like, why if it doesn't play native Xbox games? And they just give me random reasons. So basically, it looks like the Ally Xbox or whatever they're going to refer to it going forward. I can't even remember. It's just a nonsense name. That's going to just be the upgrade to the original Ally. Cool. Okay. But it still doesn't play Xbox games. All right. But that's neither here nor there. It looks like Asus is probably going to be making their hardware going forward. Microsoft is going to be a third-party publisher. Okay. All right. They're out of the console war. PlayStation has announced that they are going to put specific games on multi-platform. A lot of people are just talking that maybe they're doing it because they're like, "Hey, Microsoft, we realize you stepped out gracefully. You're doing this for us. We beat you. You're admitting it. It's a tough stake to bite onto, but hey, it sucks, especially for someone who has supported Xbox all these years, to see that Sony has technically won. And Sony saying, "Hey, we'll give you these games. We need to recoup some losses that we've taken. We're going to give you some of these and make some more money for this generation." Now, what we're going to see for the PS6 and the Asus Xbox generation, who knows? Especially with the leak of a new PlayStation handheld, which will be like I guess like a PlayStation 6 Switch. Don't know how that's going to be. I'm actually very interested in seeing how that plays out. I don't know if it'll be worth buying, but we'll see. I really want to see how the future is going to play out, and especially if Microsoft and Asus decide to make Xbox hardware, who's going to buy it? Especially with there's zero exclusives. And if you can get all the same games on PlayStation plus Asian exclusives, what's the point? I really want to know how things are going to go forward. We know Nintendo's sitting there going, "Do, do, 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 we won, we won." That's really what they're doing. They're sitting back and pumping out all these exclusives, and the Switch 2 is killing it. Doesn't matter your opinion on the Switch 2, it's selling gangbusters still. Key cards are a different story, but it's selling gangbusters. It has been the fastest launch in history. And yeah, it is what it is. And people are saying it doesn't count. Whatever. It's number one. I really want to know what we're going to see, what the future is going to hold, because if there's no competition, there's no progression. There's no there's no reason for them to strive harder to do something more. And we've seen that in other industries, such as I'm a wrestling fan. With no competition, product went stagnant. After WWF, later became WWE, purchased WCW, product became stale. It became pretty bad. And it created what was called the PG era after that. And then once other companies such as TNA came about, and then later AEW, but they've gone their own way. But with competition creates progress and creates advancement and creates anti-stagnation. You get a better product. So there's nothing for PlayStation or any other company to go, "Why should we work harder? We're just going to put out the bare minimum, slap a new name on it, and that's it. And people will buy it." I don't like that. I want a reason to buy the new Asus Xbox or Xbox Ace, whatever that's going to be, whoever's going to make it for them, or the PlayStation 6. I want a reason to buy these things, not just because I own a gaming channel. It's kind of people who say the console wars are bad don't understand video games, don't understand industry. They don't understand, the market. You need competition to get better. Things need to have a competitor. A company needs to compete with someone in order to push the boundaries, in order to get better. Otherwise, you are stagnant. No advancements. Things don't get better. And then people just end up with the same slop. We don't want that. So a console war is a good thing. Whether people hate it or not, it's a good thing. Again, competition makes things better. Competition always makes things better. Think of it this way. Think if there was only one cell phone manufacturer, we'd be sitting on the same, for you iPhone people, you'd be sitting on the same iPhone you've had for the last 10 years. Think about that. If Samsung wasn't out there kicking butt and taking names in terms of camera and stuff like that, it wouldn't have lit a fire under Apple's butt to really do what we're seeing, especially with the iPhone 17. I think that is fantastic. If all these leaks are true, that's going to be a beast of a phone. I'm even thinking of switching. Yeah, crazy, huh? Because I'm really impressed on what that iPhone 17 can do. So, and then once that comes out, we'll see Samsung respond. And yes, there are other companies, but we're talking about the big two. And look at, let's take it to motor vehicles. So I'm a big Chevy guy. Never really liked Ford, but if it wasn't for Ford, wouldn't have lit a fire under Chevy's butt. Same thing. And then we've got, okay, not an electric vehicle guy, but hey, Tesla created some of the best electrical vehicles out there, if that's what you like, which made both Ford and Chevy and all these other companies decide to go, all right, we need to step our game up and make better vehicles if we're going to really compete. And then with Chevy and Ford and all these other companies stepping up their EV game, Tesla's doing the same. Unless we're talking about the Cybertruck, but then that's a. But again, I'm a guy who prefers ICE engines. I like that internal combustion. I like using my real horsepower and my gas and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother story. I'm classic like that. Yes, I know this video has gone long, but I'm just trying to show you that the console wars are not a bad thing. If anything, it's actually a good thing that just helps, because after that, companies are going to take their sweet time putting out games. If they even put out games, they're going to put out half. Look at the stuff that we're getting now. Without a console war, things are just going to get worse. We might see a massive industry crash without competition. I don't know. I've been around long enough to see everything from NES to now, and I've paid attention. I've been in the industry one way or another, whether it was selling video games, working for a video game company, reporting on video games, reviewing games, stuff like that. I've been around it long enough to see competition's a good thing. Hey, I can even relate it to controllers these days. If we didn't have third-party companies like 8BitDo, PowerA, Big Big One, you name it, GameSir, creating these really good controllers with these insane features at such a low price, we wouldn't have other companies really stepping it up. And, you wouldn't have your companies like Razer putting out the highest end performance stuff to compete with these other guys. You wouldn't have it. And people love these things. I should know. I cover a million of them, I swear. And I love seeing what's next. But without competition, there is no what's next. Keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me ranting on about how console wars aren't bad. Competition is not bad. You need it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. After this, gonna go pop in a cough drop. I've already took some Dayquil, and I'm gonna go back to bed. Thank you guys so much. God bless each and every one of you. Like what I always say, be legendary. Thanks again.